Yo, what is up guys? Nick Nakai here. Let's Drift Media. Thank you for coming back to the channel. So, missed last week's upload, but here we are back again. So I visited Citrus College's Automotive T10 open house and their diesel program the other night, like about a week ago, and it really got me thinking because they got a really badass shop, a lot of equipment, and it got me thinking how you go to school, you get to do all this cool stuff, engine rebuilds, pulling apart transmissions, actually rebuilding transmissions, doing all this like real work, what we call it, working in the field. And then you get out of school and you get your first job and you get started changing oil, making minimum wage or maybe $1 more than minimum wage. And then a lot of people get discouraged and steered away and think like maybe this field isn't for me or this field is bullshit and I'm gonna quit. So I wanted to make this video to kind of explain how it really goes once you get your foot in the door at a shop. Usually at a dealership is where a lot of people go, was where I went. Just so newcomers coming into this industry kind of know what to expect. And the short answer is it takes time. It takes time to move up off the lube rack. It takes time to start making good money. It takes time is all I gotta say. So if you can, just for the viewers, they like to go down and read the comments of you guys because you guys have a lot of valuable input as well. I know a lot of you guys are already working in the field, a lot further into your career than some others. So if you can, drop a comment of how long it took you to move off the lube rack to become a flat rate tech or start doing real work from moving from a trainer or a trainee to actually getting your hands dirty, and until you actually started making good money. That'd be really helpful. So yeah, I see and hear or get messaged by a lot of people. It's like, hey man, like I got this job at this dealership. I've been on the lube rack for 3 or 4 months, 6 months, and they're not moving me up. Like what the heck? Like I'm gonna go look for another job. I'm gonna go to this spot because maybe I'll move up faster over there, or I'm not even gonna be a mechanic. I'm gonna go do this office job because they're paying $18 an hour versus $15 an hour. And they're just really looking at like the short-term picture. They're not looking at it in the long run, as well as they're just impatient. Like they don't wanna wait a year to move up because in their head, they're like, hey man, I went to school, like I already learned how to do all this cool stuff. I should be jumping straight on the line. And unfortunately, that's just not the truth. Everybody knows this. Just because you went to schooling doesn't really mean you know what you're doing. So yeah, along with time, there's just a lot of other factors that you gotta take into consideration when it comes to moving up and actually getting to do real work. Especially on the dealership where I was working at, there was not that many stalls available for even new techs, for them to hire new techs. So it's kind of like we had a full shop, and basically the only time they would move somebody off the lube rack was if one of the flat rate techs quit and there was a spot available. So it was really like, even though my driving record was screwed up, like I saw maybe 1 or 2 people get moved up in that whole 4 years, those first 4 years I was there. And then after I left, it's like they moved up people within months. So it really depends like on the shop. So that's one thing I'd recommend when you're looking into starting out, wherever you're applying at. When you're in your interview process, ask them like, hey, how long does it take, or how long should I expect to wait in order to move up onto the line? Because I guess knowing from the get-go would kind of, at least if the dealership is honest, may help out a little bit. But there's just a lot of factors. Not only that is their room, it's like, do you have the who the hell? Some other factors I would say would, do you have all your certifications? Do you have your ASE certs? Are you an ASE master? Have you been doing, say you're at Toyota, have you been doing your e-learning online modules? Stuff like that, as well as, are you even working hard? Like, are you even worth moving up? A lot of people, I feel like, have this like entitled personality where it's like, I went to school, I have 2 ASEs, or I have a few ASEs, I deserve to be next in line to move up. Or some people are entitled where it's like, I've been working here for 3 years, so I deserve to move up next. And yeah, that may be true for some things, but are you the guy who deserves to be moved up is one thing that I feel like plays a big picture in the dealership, because you could have all your papers, all your certs, and be a lazy ass and kind of just drag your feet at work, show up too late. Like basically, if you have a poor work ethic, the shop foreman, the service manager, management is gonna see it, and you're not gonna be on their priority list to, hey, let's move this guy up because he's a really hard worker. So work ethic also plays a big part. At the same time, I'll give you guys a warning, working in the dealership, a big deal is favoritism. So favoritism also plays a big part. It's not just about your work ethic, unfortunately. So yeah, that's my story. That's what I wanted to kind of talk about. Just let people know that be patient. It takes time. You're not gonna just jump out of school, get hired at a dealership and start making 80K your first year. You're probably gonna make minimum wage for your first couple years. But once you hit flat rate, you can make pretty good money. And not only to mention that, the experience. I no longer work for the dealership. Looking back now, worked 4 years changing oil, 5 years on the line actually doing real work. I know 4 years sounds like a lot, but if I did it, you can too. I'm now 30 years old doing 6 figures as a mechanic. Obviously not at the dealership, but I wouldn't be where I'm at today without having that chapter of experience going through the dealership phases in my life. So would I say it's worth it? Looking back now, 110%, because I don't think I would be where I'm at now had I not gone through what I went through then. So just want to sum up this video is be patient. It takes time. If you're going to school right now or you're planning on going to school, just know that once you get out and once you start off at your dealership or wherever you go to, you're not necessarily going to make the big bucks right off the bat. So I mean, again, some people end up moving up within the first couple months or something, or just starting off, but I guarantee that they're probably still not gonna make the big bucks because it takes time to get experience to get good at what you're doing in order to make those big bucks. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Peace!